This is a test recording of a presentation I'm going to record and place on my website. My name's Clive Harrison, and I would like to speak to you briefly about our strategy practice, one of our four main value streams in strategic communication and alignment. To do that, I'm going to share a short slideshow with you and work our way through that. It's based on a proprietary model for cascading strategy down through the business and at the same time engendering communication and engagement from participants upwards through the business. So it's a double eight or a double spiral, a double helix kind of model. Well, our strategy practice, just briefly, is built on a solid foundation of theory, which is based on our experience of teaching for 10 years in the MBA program at the AIM Business School. But it's also been refined in practice with many clients in 20 countries, over 200 clients around the world, not all of them strategic projects, but many of them of that nature. I also want to talk briefly about the level at which we operate so that you're clear about what we can offer you and what it specifically means in the area of alignment and execution. As I mentioned, we do have the theoretical foundation, but we also have the practical hands-on experience of working with clients. In fact, even in the most straightforward of assignments, we need to be fully briefed on strategy. So there aren't actually many projects that we do that don't include a significant component in creating strategic capability and strategic advantage. Where we normally operate actually is not at the sort of corporate global mergers and acquisitions level. We tend to operate more at the what you might call, or I think it was McKinsey's who coined the phrase strategic business unit. We are more commonly called in to operate at the level of sort of general management, country management, divisional management, and perhaps also beneath that, functional levels. So, for example, marketing is a particular specialism of ours. So we're often called in to help clients improve their marketing strategies and marketing plans as well. So just want to make clear that we're not trying to be Accenture or McKinsey's. We are, in fact, a practical hands-on boutique consultancy with experience of working through the vertical of strategy, marketing, sales, key accounts, customer service delivery, and customer satisfaction. Some of the clients that we've been privileged to work with in around the world, basically, just let me remove these graphics, just to give you an idea of the spread of clients that we've been privileged to work with. And there's a couple of those that we could talk about. In fact, I will talk about a couple of them without specifically identifying which clients we're talking about. So our focus is on management ownership, not global strategy or corporate strategy, I suppose you might call some of the work we do corporate strategy. Strategic interventions to perhaps audit current strategy at the level of a leadership team, perhaps within a country or within one particular business unit. And our focus is very much on flowing the strategy downwards and building engagement upwards. This slide shows how we position strategy and how we communicate what strategy is. Strategy is not actually that easy to define. Many authors have come at it from different directions, and it's not uncommon to find middle managers in a business who actually can't articulate what the current strategy is. You'll find some words to that effect on this page, lower down on this page, below this introductory video. But we position it based on your current position being untenable because nothing's growing, it's stormy, raining, and over here is your vision, and we call that the better place that we can envisage. So a vision is simply a vision. It's the I have a dream kind of statement. If you add that to some aspiration to actually reach it, we would call that a mission or a mission statement, perhaps. But the mission adds to the vision a wish and a will to actually get there. Generally, it should also include a time frame. At the loftiest levels of corporate strategy, perhaps it doesn't, but you can use as a reference point for this John Kennedy stating that by the end of the decade, the US will place a man on the moon and bring him back safely. That's a kind of mission statement because you've attached an aspiration and a time frame to it. Strategy we see as broadly how we will complete the journey in broad terms. We often use a journey as an analogy for strategy and tactics. It works quite well, and we would say then that the analogy for strategy is a roadmap and a route, whereas the action plan or the tactics need to take account of all of these hazards along the way. The action plans are actually what actions are needed to execute the strategy. And this is obvious to many people, and you will know this, I'm sure, if you're watching this video, but it's, again, it trips people up. And just to clarify, if we go to the page on terminology, we would, if we're working at the level of what you might call a more functional level in a business, perhaps working on marketing strategy and marketing plans, we would be more likely to use the terms objectives, strategy, and tactics. And here we can be quite specific, because in a marketing plan or a sales plan or even an individual key account plan for one customer, then the objectives should be end results or goals in a specific time frame and conforming to the well-known mnemonic of SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed. The analogy there, the destination and the deadline, pretty clear. Strategy on the next level would be the overall direction, and it coordinates the action plans. So it's a set of decisions, not an action in itself, but it coordinates the subsequent actions. The analogy, roadmap and route. Tactics, a linked schedule of doable things with times, with activities, and with responsibilities, control mechanisms, and the simple ability to tick it off when it's been done. The analogy, the vehicle, the driver, and if you like, the esky, and if you want to go so far, what brand of beer to put in the esky. Those are just 3 quick slides. They do actually key into a couple of points by these authors. Collis and Rockstar actually were the people who researched many businesses around the world and found that they were a little bit alarmed to find that many managers were not actually able to articulate company strategy, so that they've actually gone so far as to say it's a dirty little secret. Most executives cannot articulate they basically cannot articulate the strategy. We will find on this page, you'll see typical examples of statements made by managers when we ask them what the strategy of the business actually is. Michael Porter, we do mention Porter because he wrote a seminal paper in the Harvard Business Review defining what is strategy, but we actually find Porter to be a little bit too vague. As an economist, he's not really giving us the key decision points that we need to position a business for competitive advantage. Henry Mintzberg said strategy is a pattern in a stream of decisions. There's a theme coming through here. If you start looking at this one here and this quote here from Lafferty and Martin, that strategy is an integrated cascade of choices. There is another quote lower down the page from Jerome Flander about choices, small choices made in line with the bigger choice. So you should be getting the view, if you didn't already hold it, that strategy is about decision making, whereas tactics are about action plans. These are all referenced, and there's a bibliography at the bottom of the page. I'm not going to go into great detail here. We will say a word or two about Roger Martin's excellent work. Lafferty and Martin. Okay, I'm going to stop there.